From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
Good morning. It is 5 o'clock here on your Thursday. I'm Rafael Sanchez. Lauren is off today. And here's what's making headlines on this October the 8th. The pandemic is bringing hardship for many central Indiana families. Working for you, our Kelsey Anderson shows us how one organization is offering help and how you can get involved. COVID-19, a major topic during last night's vice presidential debate. What both sides had to say about the country's efforts to stop the virus. And a new charter school now open in Indianapolis. A look at the unique opportunities it's offering to set students up for success. Welcome on this Thursday morning to WRTV. Again, our Lauren Casey is off today. I'm Rafael Sanchez. Meteorologist Todd Clausen is also here with me in Studio A. Again, Todd, learning how to tie a tie. Welcome back to you. It's just the guys today.
Yeah, you know, Lauren deserving some nice time off. I enjoyed mine with my family for a little bit of a extended long weekend, but good to be back with you as always here, Rafael, and everybody else at home outside right now. On this Thursday morning, it's really quiet. That's the good news as you get going. All you have to do is grab the jacket this morning, and then eventually you'll need the sunglasses as well. The skies are clear anywhere you go. The winds are calm. That's the big difference from yesterday. Yesterday, we had those real gusty winds. Not the case here today. 53 in Indy, 40s from Lafayette to Bloomington, where it's 49 degrees there in Monroe County. The satellite radar picture completely quiet, and honestly, that's the way it stays throughout the entire day today. There's really nothing going on, not only here in central Indiana, but across the Midwest at all. So it's a quiet weather pattern, not only today, but tomorrow as well as we head into the weekend. So the only thing we really have to focus on is the temperatures, because it'll be sunny from start to finish throughout the day today. You notice we stay in the 50s through about 10 a.m. Your noontime temperature is up to right around 70 degrees, and then into the mid 70s for your afternoon highs later on today. So that puts us back above normal. And even this evening at 8 p.m., temperatures will still be in the 60s. So take advantage of today and the warmth. Get out there and enjoy. We'll talk more about the weekend forecast for you coming up, Rafael, in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Todd. As we take now a live look outside at your traffic this morning, this is I-65 at the 465 ramps on the city's northeast side. We've been monitoring reports of a crash on the northbound lanes of I-69 north of the interchange. Now we're waiting to get more information, but there was some sort of crash here between a truck and a motorcycle. Apparently this area has now been cleared, as you can see. We'll continue to monitor the situation and bring you the very latest right here on Good Morning Indiana. Many families right now are struggling to make ends meet and struggling to put food on the table for their children. And this morning, WRTV's Kelsey Anderson joins us live with how you can get help for those involved. Good morning, Kelsey.
Hey, good morning, Rafael. So whether you are someone who is struggling right now to do those things like putting food on your table, or you are someone who has it on your heart to work to keep families together, Safe Families for Children is something you should look into. Safe Families for Children is an organization that works to keep children safe and families intact. Through host families, family friends, and family coaches, they host children and provide a network of support to families in crisis while they get back on their feet. Corey and Lauren Schneider have hosted 2-year-old Gabby this summer while her mom dealt with a difficult pregnancy.
Gabby's mom did not choose to have a rough pregnancy, and she did not choose to be high risk, and she didn't choose to give birth early. You know, she didn't choose to give birth 5 weeks early and then have her son deal with his oxygen levels going up and down. So, you know, we've been here, and we need other families who want to provide that love and that care. It's been really great to see.
Schneider says when you are a host family, a child could be with you for one day to several months. If hosting isn't something you can do, she says, there are other ways to help, whether it be cooking meals, babysitting, monetary donations, or being a life coach. Now, the day we did that interview, Gabby actually went back to be with her mom after her and her new baby brother came home from the hospital after dealing with many complications after his birth. And if this is something you're interested, we've got more information for you over on WRTV.com on how you can get involved with Safe Families for Children. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, WRTV.
Kelsey, thank you so much. And now to the latest on the increase of COVID-19 cases across our state. Indiana has now recorded 3,500 deaths from the virus. The State Department of Health reported 17 new deaths on Wednesday. More than 1,300 new cases were also confirmed, bringing the state's total number of cases to 128,227. More than 1.4 million Hoosiers have been tested for the virus so far. 8.9% of those have come back positive. Governor Eric Holcomb and State Health Commissioner Dr. Christina Box responded to the increase in cases in a social media update. And the governor calling on residents to remain vigilant as gatherings continue to cause outbreaks across our state.
It doesn't matter what community or how small or large an event or the venue. Could be a funeral, could be a wedding, could be a football game. And this is both anecdotal and through our tracing, we just see that the odds of this virus spreading go up when you let your guard down.
Holcomb also addressed giving more financial aid to small businesses. He said they're going to work with the federal government to make sure they can give money to local governments to then distribute to small businesses in their communities. We reached out to the governor's challengers, Dr. Woody Myers and Donald Rainwater, about COVID-19 in our state. Rainwater's campaign plans to share a full response later this morning. But in the past, he has criticized the governor, saying he thinks the governor overstepped his bounds with stay-at-home orders and the mask mandate. Dr. Myers, however, feels the opposite. He doesn't think the governor went far enough, saying this to WRTV.
Moving us to stage 5 was wrong. We need to reverse that step, and we need to protect Hoosiers.
You can watch the whole conversation with Dr. Myers right now on our website at WRTV.com. The country's COVID-19 response was a key topic at last night's vice presidential debate. Vice President Mike Pence and Democratic VP nominee Kamala Harris both expressing their views on how the Trump administration has handled this pandemic.
The president said it was a hoax. They minimized the seriousness of it. They still don't have a plan. Well, Joe Biden does. And our plan is about what we need to do around a national strategy for contact tracing, for testing, for administration of the vaccine, and making sure that it will be free for all.
President Trump and I trust the American people to make choices in the best interest of their health. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris consistently talk about mandates, and not just mandates with the coronavirus, but a government takeover of health care.
Thank you.
We're about freedom and respecting the freedom of the American people.
The candidates also clashed over their policies on police reform, climate change, and the economy. You can watch the full debate on our website right now at WRTV.com. And if you have more questions ahead of the November election, you can find all of those answers in the Vote in 2020 digital section of our website, WRTV.com. That includes profiles on the candidates, poll locations, information, and much, much more. A new charter school is now open in Indianapolis. Believe Circle City High School is on Capitol Avenue near Fall Creek on the city's north side. It's an educational model focused on early college and career readiness. Every student is expected to graduate with an industry certification or an associate's degree. Now, the goal is to give students a head start no matter what career path they choose.
The community had a big demand for it. Indianapolis has a lot of gaps in workforce development roles, and we knew that we could fill that gap. And we also have a lot of students who college may not be for them. So we want to make sure that regardless of what you're interested in, we have something for everybody. The other piece on the college side is that we have a lot of gifted students in our city who are not necessarily getting what they need. So our gifted students are in an accelerated path so that we can knock off at least a year of college for them.
Good luck to them. The school's partnerships include Ivy Tech, the Kenzie Academy, and Marion University. The next enrollment window starts on the 30th. And of course, Todd, we could have all kept our windows open last night. It was pretty nice for a fall day.
You know, it really was. Yesterday, temperatures got up to right around 80 degrees, and as the sun set, we started to cool off. So yeah, the windows open would have been a good option here last night, and in the next couple days as well, as you will deal with these cool, seasonable mornings and then above normal temperatures as we head into the afternoon hours. So as you plan your day, I've noticed more and more cars on the road during our commuting times here, both the morning and in the afternoon hours. So if you are commuting here today, have the sunglasses handy. 51 degrees as you head into work. Heading home, we're looking at temperatures that'll be in the mid 70s. Now, as far as rain goes, we're dry today. We're still dry tomorrow. Saturday, some rain chances do enter the forecast, and they're only in extreme southern portions of the state, though, and that's because of the remnants remnants of Hurricane Delta will be passing by. A little better rain chances as we get into Sunday. We'll break down that weekend forecast for you coming up in more detail in just a few minutes.
Todd, thank you so much. Scam calls are making it much harder to contact people who may be exposed to COVID-19. Coming up, the changes they are now making to ensure that you get notified quickly and on time. And Hurricane Delta strengthening as it moves up the Gulf Coast. The aftermath left behind in Mexico and the preparations being made right now here in the U.S. You're watching Good Morning Indiana on WRTV. Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. The time now is 5:14. When you hear your phone ring and see an unknown number, you're not likely to answer. But that habit is creating some issues for contact tracers. Those are the workers hired to get in touch with you, especially if you've been diagnosed or exposed to someone with COVID-19. But when people don't answer calls from contact tracers, controlling the virus becomes more difficult. But it doesn't mean contact tracers are giving up.
Cases when contact tracers call someone and that person is uncomfortable talking to them on the phone. In some counties, they will actually send someone to that person's home to conduct an in-person interview if they are more comfortable doing that.
Even when contact tracers do manage to get someone on the phone, it can be difficult to get information from them. Contact Trace is one of the companies helping with contact tracing efforts. The group is encouraging every state and local government to try and work with phone providers to identify their phone call as coming from the health department or contact tracing programs. President Trump has put a stop to negotiations for new virus relief programs until after the election, but now he's trying to push certain aid programs through. It would include standalone measures like another $1,200 in stimulus checks and money for airlines and other struggling businesses. Now, before negotiations were stopped, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi opposed only certain pieces of that aid, but her spokesman says she's now in talks with the Republicans about help for the airlines. For the first time, Walmart is launching health care plans for seniors. It comes in for Medicaid open enrollment just in time for that. Walmart says the insurance services will help people with the historically confusing process of enrolling in insurance plans. The program is licensed in all 50 states. The time now is 5:16 and Hurricane Delta strengthening now into a Category 2 storm after hitting Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula. Strong winds tore apart buildings in Cancun and also caused flooding in that area. Now, thankfully, no deaths have been reported there so far. Delta is now making its way towards the United States. Experts predict a life-threatening storm surge along the northern Gulf Coast starting tomorrow. This morning, warnings are now being issued for parts of Louisiana and Mississippi. And Todd, this is another big storm hitting again the Gulf Coast.
Yeah, you know, that's just been the weather pattern that's been set up in the track of these storms. The Gulf of Mexico has been very, very active with these storms making landfall, whether they've been a hurricane or just a tropical storm. We have not been able to tap into any of that moisture. Just like September was so dry, driest on record, October has started very dry, at least in Indianapolis. I know some of you got some rainfall on Sunday morning to the north, but going forward in this forecast, our average high is 68 degrees. Yesterday's high, 84 degrees, so we were well above normal. We remain above normal today with more sunshine on the way, and then there's really only some small rain chances in this forecast as we get towards the middle to end of your 7-day planner, and I'll show you that in just a second outside right now. Skies are clear. It's a beautiful morning with temperatures in the 40s to the north, 46 in Peru, 54 as you make your way down into the Martinsville area, and 49 is the current temperature in Bloomington. Brown County, that's where this picture is taken. Beautiful place to be. I was down in Brown County on Monday, enjoying the colors starting to change down there and all across central Indiana. This morning, we'll be hovering right around 50 degrees through 8 a.m., and then we'll see the temperature start to moderate back up into the mid-60s as we get into the afternoon hours. The satellite radar picture, nice and quiet for us. We really have no weather to worry about here for the day today. Yesterday it was warm. The only flaw was that gusty wind with high pressure almost right on top of us now. We are not dealing with those windy conditions today like we have done the past couple days, and TrueCast shows really nothing going on here locally as we sail through the day, maybe just building in a few fair weather clouds in southern locations as we get into the afternoon and evening hours. Highs today not quite as warm as yesterday, but still above normal. 76 in Frankfort, 77 in Lafayette, Anderson Franklin at 75 degrees, 79 in Martinsville, 78 today in Shelbyville, and 75 in Newcastle. Then highs today will be right around 80 degrees here in southern locations. So it's just a nice late fall day with the temperatures above normal. It almost feels like late summer compared to early fall. And then as we work our way into the evening hours, temperatures will fall back down into the 60s. Now tomorrow, a day that's probably a little bit warmer once again than today. Tomorrow we'll build in partly cloudy skies in the afternoon hours. We'll get the temperature up to 81 degrees for your day tomorrow. Then on Saturday, partly to mostly cloudy skies. There could be a little bit in the way of shower activity Saturday in far southern locations, and that's with the remnants of Delta passing to our south. Sunday, a little better opportunity for some scattered showers at 72 degrees, and then we'll keep the scattered showers in the forecast as we work our way into Monday and Tuesday of next week, but no major rainfall heading our way. Raphael.
That is looking good, Todd Clausen. Thank you so much. A big good morning to Plainfield, Tipton, and Southport, and let's say south of Indianapolis. A live look at your morning commute. This is I-65 at County Line Road. As you can see, traffic is building this morning, but all is well throughout the interstate system. Santa Claus will be practicing some social distancing at malls this year. You see, Brookfield Property says there will be no sitting on Santa's lap at their malls. They own the Glenbrook Mall in Fort Wayne in Allen County, just north of Indianapolis. Brookfield says their decision is all about ensuring safety. Now, Santa will be required to wear a mask and offer some virtual visits as well. Simon Mall Properties say their Santas will also be at the malls this year, but they did not offer any details. The time now is 5:20. The pandemic may also impact your choice of Thanksgiving turkeys. You see, grocery stores are offering smaller birds this year since fewer people will likely be able to gather around that dinner table. Walmart says it will offer more boneless and bone-in turkey breasts. Retailers and distributors are also buying more hens, which are smaller than the male birds. Even though the turkeys may be smaller, experts still think about 40 million turkeys nationwide will be eaten for the holiday. It's all about the mission through Hiring Hoosiers to connect you to jobs every single day and to those key resources. So right now, here is your job feed. Hiring Hoosiers partner Fairgrounds needs warehouse associates and forklift operators to begin work immediately in Franklin in Johnson County. The pay ranges from $13.75 to $15.50 an hour. You must be able to lift up to 50 pounds and be on your feet for 8 hours. Biomat USA Plasma Center on Capitol Avenue here in Indianapolis needs reliable people to join their team. The company also provides benefits. And Indiana Mentor is a home and community-based human services provider. They're seeking direct support professionals. You would provide care and support to individuals with disabilities. You can learn more about all of these open positions by reading their post right now on the Hiring Hoosiers Facebook page. The vice presidential debate featured an unwanted guest, and as you can imagine, the internet they lost it. The funny reaction to the buggy distraction after the break right here on Good Morning Indiana. So were you up to see this during last night's debate? Social media became entertained by a third participant that attended that event. Check it out, The Fly. That's right, the bug landed on Vice President Mike Pence's head while he was answering a question about racial injustice. It stayed there for several minutes. Now, Twitter users joked about the fly, saying they were so distracted by it they could not focus on either Pence or Harris's answers. Some also said the fly should be tested for COVID-19 since it flew between the candidates' plexiglass partitions. Even Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden got in on the fun, using the bug as a fundraising opportunity. Listen, there was no fly on this. This is the official cake for Todd Clausen. A happy belated birthday to Todd, but Todd wasn't here on Tuesday to receive the cake. So I had the cake or the cookie sent to my wife's elementary school. So Miss Savannah used it to celebrate her birthday, which is next week. She's a kindergarten teacher at Pleasant Crossing Elementary School in Johnson County. So a big happy birthday to Todd and to Miss Savannah.
Well, thank you, Raphael. I'm sorry I wasn't here to enjoy the cake, but it's the thought that matters. It was good. And I saw it on Facebook and I saw it on Instagram, so I appreciate the gesture. And happy birthday a little early to Miss Savannah. Hope you enjoyed the cookie. All right, outside right now, it's nice and quiet across the area. And that's the way it's going to be throughout the entire day. The wind not an issue for the day today. That has calmed down. And we'll see temperatures go from the 50s here this morning, close to 70 degrees already by the noon hour. And then high temperatures today will be climbing up into the mid-70s with complete sunshine for most of us. A few fair weather clouds may sneak into southern locations later on this afternoon, but overall just a terrific Thursday for us. We'll talk more about Friday and the weekend for you coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues. The time now, that's 5:26. Stay with us. We're back in just a couple minutes.
From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
A proposal to increase IMPD's budget is moving forward now at 5:30. Reaction from those against the move and how they believe the money should be used. A local organization connecting struggling families to much-needed resources. Working for you, our Kelsey Anderson shows us how you can help further the mission of Safe Families for Children. Welcome to Good Morning Indiana on this Thursday, October the 8th. I'm Rafael Sanchez. Our good friend Lauren Casey is hopefully sleeping in, and Todd Clausen, I'm not gonna lie, I'm happy to be back in Studio A and not in my living room. It's getting kind of lonely down there in Johnson County at 5:30 in the morning.
You know, we're always happy to have you back here in Studio A, and Lauren's going to enjoy a couple days off here, well-deserved across the area, as I know she has some events going on. Today, as you walk out the door, partly cloudy skies, sunglasses needed from start to finish throughout the day today, and you probably need a light to medium weight jacket. Temperatures not super cool this morning, pretty seasonable as we're sitting in the 40s and 50s. You definitely don't need the umbrella or the hat or gloves. It's not that cold, and there's no rain in the forecast for the day today. But here are those temperatures: 49 in Bloomington, 48 in Lafayette, 46 is the current temperature as you make your way up into the Peru area. Some 50s across southern portions of the state, but otherwise it's nice and quiet. Satellite radar picture features nothing here locally. We'll expand out for you, and you really don't see anything going on at all. Some showers there in the UP of Michigan, and that is just about it. So as you plan your day out here for the day today, nothing but sunshine this morning into the afternoon hours. Your noontime temperature today right around 69 degrees with high temperatures today. Raphael, once again well above normal as we climb up into the mid-70s.
Todd, from your great forecast or great outlook on the traffic this morning, a big good morning to Fishers, Anderson, and Mooresville. This morning we're taking a live look at the city's southwest side. This is I-70 at the Reagan Ameriplex area. As you can see, all is moving smoothly right now at 5:31 here in Indianapolis. A proposal to increase IMPD's budget is headed for a final vote in the City County Council. The Public Safety and Criminal Justice Committee approved that plan last night. Last month, the city requested an additional $7.7 million in funding. They say that money will be used to hire more officers, add body cameras, and be used for other equipment as well as legal settlements. Now, several citizens who attended the meeting expressed frustration and anger after the committee's decision.
The police have a $261 million budget, and people can't pay their rent. We have a wait list right now for people to be able to get rental assistance. They didn't allocate a single dollar into community. They live with these people, but instead of protecting and upholding the integrity of their work, instead of upholding and protecting the integrity of their neighbors, they decided that they wanted to uphold white supremacy today.
They're squandering the money they already have. So defund the police and reallocate that money to the communities that actually need it.
Also to speak up, 4th District Councilor Ethan Evans says he agrees that it's important to dedicate resources to the community.
Well, I'm all for expanding, the additional ways to get more mental health care in the community, get more rapid response for, mental health, people in mental health crises in the community. I just feel that, we should be, finding alternative ways to do it that might not include having public safety officers, in those runs all the time.
The committee also heard from the police department about the IMPD Health and Hospital Corporation team. The goal of that team is to provide enhanced training and resources and improve responses to situations involving behavioral health issues. That program will be implemented in 3 phases. An amendment to the budget will require oversight from the council. The full council will vote on that proposal this upcoming Monday. Meanwhile, IMPD is testing a new neighborhood app. The app is called Relay. It's designed for non-emergency situations. You can report things like suspicious activity as well as vandalism. There's also an option to upload pictures and videos. Officers are then able to respond to those messages, we're told, in real time. The goal is to be able to better connect with the people.
What it really allows for is that direct interaction between a citizen and the officer who works in the area that they live. So you kind of get to know the officers that patrol your area. They get to know the people that live in it. It kind of helps to bridge those relationships and establish that rapport.
Right now, that program is being piloted in the North District here in Indianapolis. Metro Police says the Relay app does not take the place of 911 or 311. The time now is 5:34, and many families right now are struggling to make ends meet and struggling to put food on the table for their children, for their families. This morning, WRTV's Kelsey Anderson joins us live with how you can help those who need it the most. Kelsey, good morning to you.
Hey, good morning, Raphael. So no doubt many people are going through tough times right now, whether it be with childcare or just putting food on your table. But if you don't have family nearby, who do you turn to?
Who goes in the farm?
Chickens.
The chickens?
The chicken.
And who else?
Corey and Lauren Schneider's family got a little bigger this summer.
We're excited to have her in our lives for the rest of our lives.
Through Safe Families for Children, they've met Gabby, a spunky 2-year-old who lights up any room.
What does a cow say?
Moo.
Moo.
Gabby's mom doesn't have family who lives nearby and couldn't take care of her while she was on bed rest, and then delivered a baby boy who had to stay in the NICU for several weeks. So she reached out to Safe Families for help.
Safe Families is not just glorified babysitting. It's not, let me call you up, come take my kid for a couple of days. It's much more than that. It's much deeper than that.
Schneider says they act as an extended family now for Gabby and her mom, there to help in times of need.
It's not about taking baby from mom because mom's not doing something right. It's about coming alongside mom, coming alongside baby, or 0 to 18, and saying, we want to love on you, we want to care on you, we want to stand next to you during a hard time or during a time when you need help, and then we want to reunite your family together.
The Schneiders are what's called a host family with Safe Families for Children. But Lauren says if hosting isn't something you can do, she tells me there are dozens of ways you can help.
You can provide babysitting. You can provide rest care, what we call respite care. You can provide meals. You can provide food. You can provide cleaning services, really anything. You can be a family coach. So you can work with, if you like to work with adults more, you can work with those moms and dads who might need a little extra help.
Now, besides Gabby and her mom, the Schneiders have gained a community of folks they now know won't hesitate to help.
We didn't have anything, and our community has donated everything for us. This experience has changed us, and even if Gabby doesn't remember us, which she might not, we will always remember her.
So Gabby is now back with her mom and her new baby brother who had complications while in the hospital. I'm told that they are doing well right now. So if you are interested in getting involved with Safe Families for Children, you can head over to WRTV.com for more information. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, WRTV.
Kelsey, thank you so much. It's all about working together. The time now is 5:37, and this morning, COVID-19 cases and deaths are on the rise in our state. State health officials report 17 new deaths from the virus. To date, 3,500 Hoosiers have died with COVID-19. Another 227 are believed to have died from the virus based on their diagnosis. State health officials also report 1,302 additional cases of the virus. This brings the total number of people infected with COVID-19 to 128,227 so far. The state's 7-day positivity rate is steadily climbing. Right now, it's about 5%. State health officials are also continuing to keep a very close eye on our hospital resources. When discussing a dip in the number of ICU beds available, here's what State Health Commissioner Dr. Christina Box had to say.
We are seeing ICU bed capacity shrink in some areas of the state. Most of these areas already had smaller number of ICU beds available and are seeing increased need for ICU beds, but not just for COVID illnesses. But we cannot make a direct comparison to overall hospitalizations earlier in the year. Early in the year, there were no elective procedures in the hospitals, but now there are. And we know more about the virus than we did in April, and our systems are better equipped to handle them now than they were at that time.
Dr. Box went on to say that the state is continuing to keep a close eye on hospital resources as we get further into flu season to ensure facilities will not be overwhelmed. We also received an update on the school dashboard. 400 additional schools have input data that brings the total number of schools reporting to 1,755. Of those, 944 have reported one or more cases of COVID-19. And as you can see, just under 2,000 students have tested positive for the coronavirus in our state. State health leaders say of those cases, the highest percentage of students are between the ages of 10 and 19. The state is continuing to work with schools to improve accuracy of this dashboard. An antibody treatment that Eli Lilly is testing has shown to be effective in reducing the levels of the virus that causes COVID-19. The company announced the results of a study on Wednesday. Lilly says the monoclonal antibody treatment appears to prevent patients from visiting the ER or the hospital. Now, those types of antibodies are synthetic versions of the ones that our immune systems use to fight off disease. Now, Lilly had previously released results for a similar treatment using a different antibody. The company says using a combination of both appeared to reduce the amount of virus in nasal swabs of patients after 11 days. Now, the results are similar to the ones that Regeneron presented just last week. That is the treatment given to the president while he was being treated for COVID-19. The time now is 5:40. Indiana's COVID numbers are still a cause for concern now for the Windy City. Chicago health officials say they may add our state to its emergency travel order. That order requires people entering the city from COVID-19 hotspots to quarantine for 14 days. Officials say Indiana is now on a warning list and Chicago residents are strongly advised not to travel here. Chicago adds a state to its emergency travel order if it averages more than 15 cases per 100,000 residents over a 7-day period. Now, Indiana has exceeded that threshold, but Chicago officials gave the state another week of COVID-19 rates to let them improve. The time now is 5:41, and Todd, I can't believe what's behind you. Are we in fall or spring?
Right, you know, yesterday 84 degrees. That's the number behind me. That was our high temperature in Indianapolis. I know it was a little windy yesterday, but it was warm with all that sunshine. We're not going to quite get to 84 today, but we're still looking at high temperatures today around 80 degrees in Rockville as well as the Bloomington area, a little cooler to the north with temperatures in the mid 70s, but our average high this time of year, that is only in the upper 60s. So we're going to be running about 8 to 10 degrees above normal today for your high temperature with completely sunny skies. It's another beautiful day for us. Here's the track of Hurricane Delta. It's Category 2 storm right now, expected to become a major hurricane at Category 3 throughout the day today and then make landfall there. Unfortunately, very close to where Laura made landfall earlier in the year, and then this low is going to track to our south. We may see a few showers from it once we get into the day on Saturday. We'll talk more about that and your entire weekend forecast coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues right here on WRTV.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. The time now is 5:45. The coronavirus outbreak at the White House is growing, as you know. An internal memo reveals that at least 34 people have now tested positive for the virus. And this morning, the Trump administration now facing unprecedented criticism from the New England Journal of Medicine. ABC's Andrea Fujiji joins us now with the very latest.
This morning, the coronavirus outbreak at the White House growing. An internal memo obtained by ABC News revealing at least 34 people have now tested positive, up from 24 Wednesday afternoon. And now another top military official is positive after attending a meeting with the Joint Chiefs. General Gary Thomas is second in command of the Marine Corps. All but one of the Joint Chiefs are now in isolation after Coast Guard Admiral Charles Ray tested positive. Meanwhile, President Trump returning to the Oval Office Wednesday, his doctors saying the president has been symptom-free for over 24 hours. The president releasing this video from the White House.
I want everybody to be given the same treatment as your president because I feel great. I feel like perfect.
But the White House now facing unprecedented criticism from the prestigious New England Journal of Medicine over the administration's handling of the pandemic, writing in a scathing editorial that U.S. leaders have taken a crisis and turned it into a tragedy. 32 states and territories are now seeing a rise in COVID cases. Some areas of the country are now facing new closures and restrictions.
We are dealing with a health emergency The state has laid down very clear rules. Everyone must follow those rules.
In Boston, schools now pausing their reopening plans. A new forecast predicts New England, the New York City area, and Oregon could see the most concerning rates of infection in the next month if conditions stay the same.
We could have from 300,000 to 400,000 deaths. That would be just so tragic if that happens.
And now Wisconsin, opening a field hospital at the state fairgrounds after a record number of hospitalizations. More criticism of the White House from the CDC's former director, calling the administration's handling of the pandemic a slaughter. The White House responding, saying that every decision at the CDC has been data-driven. Andrea Fuji, ABC News, New York.
At 5:47, now let's take you to Utah, turning now to the vice presidential debate. That showdown between Vice President Mike Pence and Senator Kamala Harris was different, both in style and substance, from last week's presidential debate. The matchup punctuated by a plastic divider as an added safety measure as the coronavirus pandemic looms over this election. Harris put the focus on President Trump's criticizing his administration's handling of the virus. Meanwhile, Mr. Pence painted Harris as a progressive by highlighting her past support for the Green New Deal and Medicare for All legislation.
They knew what was happening and they didn't tell you. We have seen a pattern with this administration, which is they don't believe in science. And Joe's plan is about saying we're going to deal with it, but we're also going to create jobs.
From the very first day, President Donald Trump has put the health of America first. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris consistently talk about mandates, and not just mandates with the coronavirus, but a government takeover of health care, the Green New Deal, all government control.
The candidates also faced off in their policies on police reform, climate change, and the economy. You can watch the entire debate right now on our website, WRTV.com. Listen, we have everything that you need to know about the November general election on our website. You can find the important dates and rules and the information there, the candidates as well that you need to know about before you cast your ballot. All that information right now at WRTV.com/vote in 2020. The time now 5:49, and Hurricane Delta is aiming straight for the already hard-hit United States Gulf Coast. The storm, currently a Category 2 storm, but expected to strengthen as it makes its way to the shore. States of emergencies have been declared in Louisiana as well as in Alabama and Mississippi. And right now, Delta's projected path looks very similar to that of Hurricane Laura, which made landfall in Louisiana as a Category 4 storm on August the 27th. As you may recall, it was a deadly storm, killing at least 15 people. And Todd, people along the Gulf Coast are preparing for this, but here we go again. They just can't seem to catch a break.
You know, the Gulf Coast has been very active with these hurricanes. We had Laura, as you mentioned, and then I've lost count of all the names and which ones have made landfall. We had the one in Florida and Mississippi, so it's been very active. We have not been able to tap into any of the moisture, though, from those tropical systems, and we really need more rainfall. I know some of you saw rain on Sunday in northern locations, but Indianapolis really didn't get into much, and so we continue to run extremely dry, and today there's no threat of any rain in the forecast either. 53 degrees right now. The wind is calm. Visibility not a problem as we have completely clear skies. So I'll take a look at all the bright stars on my way into work here this morning with what is a kind of a cool, refreshing air mass. These temperatures, as far as where we stand right now this morning, pretty seasonable for this time of year in the 40s and 50s. There's nothing abnormal about this. 49 in Bloomington, 46 in Tipton, 44 the current temperature in Richmond. And as we work our way throughout the day today with sunshine and light winds, that's the big difference compared to yesterday when we had those real gusty winds. Today the winds are very, very light. We'll see our temperatures climb from the mid-50s into the mid-60s by 11 a.m. When we should be up to about 64 degrees, should be close to 70 by the noon hour, 73 degrees by 2 p.m. And then high temperatures today will be topping off in the mid-70s with those skies that'll be completely sunny. It's really just a terrific day for us here as we continue to push through this first full week of October. Satellite radar picture as we expand out, really nothing to show you. We are high and dry with high pressure firmly in control. We'll throw on the tropical satellite here and you can see a pretty symmetrical storm. It indicates a pretty strong hurricane. Don't have that well-defined eye yet, but as the storm starts to turn to the north here today, we are expecting it to strengthen into a Category 3 major hurricane before it makes landfall there, most likely very close to the Texas-Louisiana border. Closer to home this evening with partly cloudy skies. Temperatures will fall from the 70s into the 60s. By the time we get to midnight tonight, 59 degrees. As you wake up tomorrow morning, we're in the 40s and 50s. Again, seasonably cool for us, but no real issues whatsoever as far as low temperatures. Now, tomorrow we get into the sunshine. Once again, tomorrow's a little bit warmer with highs that'll be close to 80 degrees. In fact, many locations tomorrow, I do think, get into the 80s. So it's really a nice way to end the work week. High school football games tomorrow evening will be just fine. Saturday, partly to mostly cloudy skies. Saturday's the day that we could see some impacts from the remnants of Delta, and that would be more in the way of cloud cover and just that small shower chance in southern locations. Little better chance of some showers working their way into the forecast Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday of next week, but we're not looking at a lot in the way of rainfall and temperatures that will be still above normal, Raphael, in the 70s.
Just head outside and enjoy the outdoors while you can without a big old coat. Good morning to Danville, Greenfield, and Muncie. As we take a live look outside at your traffic, this is I-465 near Ditch Road. Nothing to report this morning. No crashes or delays on the interstate systems.
Get! There he is.
Ah! Yeah, I do the same thing, but I would probably run. But the virus is not the only unwelcome guest invading the White House. Coming up, what made that reporter lose his cool? You're watching Good Morning Indiana on this Thursday morning.
Get! There he is. Ah!
I get it. There's a major infestation at the White House, and we're not talking about COVID-19. It appears there are critters on the loose. There's an invasion of raccoons crawling around the media cables on the White House lawn, sniffing at their bags of gear. One even making a beeline for CNN's Joe Johns, who you just heard there, in the middle of a live shot, as you just saw. Law enforcement is also on the hunt, spotlighting the masked bandits with their flashlights, but one of them ended up at a Secret Service security shack, so naturally, it's time to cue the raccoon gifts. And then, of course, in true social media fashion, take a look at this one. That White House raccoon even created its own Twitter account. Todd, everyone has a Twitter account. The raccoon has a Twitter account. The fly that landed on the vice president's head during the debate has a Twitter account. You and I should get a Twitter account just for the heck of it.
We do have Twitter accounts.
Oh, yeah, we do, don't we?
Go find us. We have Twitter accounts. All right, outside right now we have temperatures that are in the 40s. 41 in Logansport, 53 in Indianapolis, 50 in Bloomington. Radar nice and quiet this morning. That's the way it stays throughout the day today. So expect lots of sunshine on this October the 8th. Our average high 68 to 69 degrees into the mid-70s today. The big difference, even though it's a little bit cooler today, we do not have to contend with those gusty winds, as it's really just a pleasant Thursday for us from start to finish. Your weekend looking decent as well. More on that coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues right here on WRTV.